We're going to start sitting down. It's always a good place to be. Just take a couple of minutes to relax ourselves. So it doesn't have to be a seated position, cross-legged. I've just been sitting on my ankles and they've gone to sleep a little bit, so stretching them out. And then working into the breath. Not too many chairs today. We'll slowly lift ourselves out of this and come up onto all fours for some cat-cow. You want to have the brick towards the front of the mat. Block can be down by the side. And a little maraud from side to side, just to open the spine up a little bit, just wriggling through the hips, getting shoulders, and the rest of the spine, just to wake up a little bit. And then we'll come into the cat-cow proper, so just bringing the knees right underneath the hips, drawing the chest forwards for shoulders back, and exhaling out gently. Now you're going to follow your own breath, keep the belly drawn in a little bit the whole time. Obviously on the exhale, you can draw the belly in a little more deeply. And come into neutral and just take the knees wide. Sit gently down onto the heels for child's pose. So ease the hands forwards, try and keep the elbows off the ground. And then we'll take it into a little bit of a side bend over to the right. And then we'll lift gently, come over to the left. I'll come into the center again, lift up onto all fours. Bring the knees back underneath. And as you arrive, we'll tuck toes of the right foot underneath and slide that back. Just to press out through the heel so the foot is flexed. Try not to sink into the shoulders. Push a little away from the floor. Start to feel the stretch across the back. We'll bring that knee to the ground and swap over to the second side. Knees to the ground again, just tuck the toes underneath and sit back onto the heels. Little toe stretch. And then coming back up onto all fours, we untuck the toes. You can take that right foot back again, so pressing out. Going to take the left hand away from the floor and stretch out. And slowly lifting the right foot off the ground, we bend the right knee. Take the left hand out to the side into the twist. So open the body out. Find your foot. And press the shin away gently. Keep the belly drawn in. Try not to lean into the elbow joint, so press down through the arm. Get space between the shoulder and ear. And then we can release from there. And we'll set it up for the second side. So we'll tuck the toes under on the left. Take the right hand away. Find some stability. So take the foot away from the floor. Slowly bending the knee. And then on the exhale, just watching the fingers opening the chest, spotting the foot, corner of the eye, and then press it out. We'll release. Knees to the floor. We'll just take a seated position, feet to the front of the mat. Use the hands to support as we roll down. And we'll draw the right knee towards the chest, take the hands around the shins, slide the left leg out down the mat, flexing both feet. Sending the hips away, drawing the belly into the spine. And we'll cross over to the opposite side. Flexing both feet. Draw both knees in towards the body. Roll onto the left side. Use the hands to press into the floor to lift up. Allow ourselves to spin the feet towards the back of the mat. Coming onto all fours. Take a little breath. Tuck the toes underneath. Lift almost into a down dog and then walking the hands towards the toes. And just keeping the fingers on the ground to start with. Enough bend in the knees so the ribs can touch thighs. Early in the morning, it's a bigger bend. And bring the hands onto the hips, soft knees and a flat back to lift. And take the hands out towards the side and up to the sky, breathing in. And gently through the heart as we exhale. Just dropping the hands to the side. Inhaling that. Through. And release. And last time. We'll take the feet out a little wider. And then we're just going to let ourselves twist very gently. So we want the knees to bend. We want the feet to feel like they're moving around. So we're transferring the weight through. Taking the hips from one side of the mat towards the other. Just gently spinning around. So a lot of movement through the bottom half of the body. You can let the head follow the heart, or you can keep it fixed in one place, your choice. And then we'll release. Just slow back. So I'm going to take a little breath and bring the feet together. Just make sure we're not going to trip over anything. Bring the hands in towards the heart. Find someone to focus on. We're going to take a little balance into tree. So the first one, we're going to take the weight into that left leg and just bring the right heel onto the ankle, turn the toes out. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here, trying to limit the amount of weight in the toe and also the amount of weight that goes out to the side and the hips. So I want to try and bring the core back into the center line a little bit. And then we're going to close the eyes and see how well we do when that happens. And then we'll open the eyes, try and center again, and slowly bring that foot onto the shin and the calf. So knees just gently out to the side. And we'll bring the feet back down. Shake it out a little bit. Take it into the second side. So the toes come together. Again, that little gap for the heels. Hands into the heart. Take the weight into the right leg. Left heel comes onto the right ankle, toes out to the side. Just as before, we're trying to spend a little bit of time getting the least amount of weight into that big toe. Keeping the hips square to the standing foot. And we'll close the eyes. And see how this side feels. Become very much more connected to what's happening in your feet when you close your eyes. And we open again. And take a little breath. Let's see if we can get that gentle lift of the foot onto the shin and the calf and hold. And then put the foot back down again. Boy, am I having to work hard through that ankle. And just shake out the legs a little bit. We'll come back up to the front of the mat. Take the hands out wide and inhale. Hands into the heart. Exhale over the thighs. Long flat back. Stretching out those hamstrings. We'll come up onto the shins with the fingers to lift up. We'll float back down again. Soften the knees as you need to. Hands onto the shins to lift up halfway. Hinge and fold. Lift up the third time. Hinge and over again. Fold it and then deep. We'll take the right foot to the back of the mat. A big step. And let the knee gently down to the floor. So untuck the toes, we'll bring the hands onto the front thigh to lift ourselves up. Let the hands come alongside the body. Take the hands out to the side and inhale them up towards the sky. Press a little into the shin. Keep the belly drawn in, deep and low. You can turn the little finger in towards the center a fraction. So palms start to face towards the back of the mat. One more breath. Ease the hands down to the floor. And we'll step it back to the front of the mat. So just press out into the lunge. Push off the toes. Land steady, hands on the hips, soft knees and a flat back. We'll take the hands high again, into the heart. Draw the belly in, shift the weight into the toes, soften the knees, fingers to the floor, hands to the shins to lift up. Hinge and a fold. Hands onto the shins to lift. And hinge and fold. One more time. We'll take the left foot back and drop the knee and tuck the toes. Hands onto the front thigh to lift slowly. Let the hands come to the side. Inhale high. And start to turn the little finger into the center. Palms face back. And we're back down to the floor. Tuck the toe on the back foot. A little press out on the exhale. Into the forward fold. Hands under the hips and we lift up. Inhale high. Hands into the heart, forward fold to the floor. Right foot back, deep into the lunge. Bring hands onto the front thigh. Back foot is untucked. Hands to the side and up to the sky. Going to hook the thumbs. Palms face forwards this time. We take a little side bend to the right. Lift up out of the pelvis. Stretch the arms up and over. One more breath this side. Bring ourselves to the center. Cross the thumbs over the other way. Take that side bend to the left. Come back to the center. Hands to the floor. And we take a breath to come into the lunge. Exhale to forward fold. Hands onto the hips and lift up gently. We take it to the second side. Inhale high. Hands into the heart. Soften down. Left foot back. Hands gently come to that thigh to help with the lift. And then to the side of the body. Inhale them up gently. Going to hook the thumbs again. Take the side bend to the left. Come back to the center on the inhale. Take it over to the right as we exhale. Come back to the center. Hands to the floor again. Breath in to the lunge. Exhale into the forward fold. Hands onto the hips and lift. Inhale high. Come down to the floor and step it back into down dog. We'll take the feet as wide as the mat. Staying in a down dog position, we bring the feet forwards enough to get the heels on the ground. We're strong in the back legs. And we're going to take the left hand over to the right outside ankle and twist the body underneath. Bring the hands to the floor, take it to the second side. Exhale it across. Back gently into that down dog. Bring the feet back into normal down dog position, draw the right knee towards the chest. Bring the foot through into a lunge. Check your knee is over your ankle, your foot is pointing forwards. Strong back leg, and then bring the hands onto the thigh. Lift yourself up slowly. And continue to lift the body into a vertical line. Oh, I had trouble with that on this side. I had trouble last night as well. Strange. We'll take the hands out wide and inhale. Now we bring the hands to the floor. We'll step back into the dog and take it into the second side. And we'll draw the left leg in. Same shape as before. Hands come onto the front side to lift up slowly. And then out to the side. Inhale the hands gently to the sky, keeping the ribs down, hips square, press into the back heel. And then hands gently down to the floor. Step into the front of our mat. Move the block, or the brick rather, right into the center line of the mat on the front edge. And hands onto the hips, and those lift up gently. We'll take a step out to the right. Take the feet nice and wide. Come into that star shape. Turn the feet gently towards the front mat. Soften into that warrior two, keeping the hips nice and stable. I'm going to take a little breath. I'm going to lean onto that front thigh with that forearm, just taking the hand onto the hip. Reach for the brick and bring it onto the inside of the front foot, maybe towards the ankle. I'm going to press the heel of the hand down so that the hand is underneath the shoulder, and then slowly straighten the front leg into triangle legs. A couple of breaths. Starting to rotate the chest a little more towards the sky. And then we're going to take that top hand up towards the ceiling. Try and get some length in the body. So you're literally drawing your chest forwards and sending your tailbone back. We'll soften the front knee. Take a little breath, and we're going to wrap the rear hand around to the front thigh. So still on that break. Now press down into the front shin. Draw yourself back into warrior two. Take the hands above the head. Rotate the hips and chest towards the front of the mat. Spin the heel up on the back foot. Let the hands come down by the side of the body. Lean forwards a little bit, and then as the arms come forwards, just step it into the front of the mat. Shake out the legs a little bit. We need to move that block again, stuff to the front, just a little bit forwards of the foot. We'll take the step out to the left. Hands come out height of the shoulders. Turn the feet to the front mat and soften into our warrior two. So drawing the tailbone down towards the floor a little bit. Turning the chest to the side of the mat, but keeping the hips a little bit offset. Checking the front knee out of peripheral vision is over the ankle. And then we're going to lean into that front thigh. Find the brick. Bring it in. Take the place. And again, just letting that back hand sit onto the top of the hip. Take a little breath. Start to straighten the front leg. Lengthen the body. Start easing the chest around towards the sky. So we're trying to look towards the ceiling. If that's not part of your usual practice, it would be an adventure. And then we'll take that top hand up towards the ceiling. And we'll soften the front knee and wrap that top hand around. Continuing to draw the chest round and up towards the ceiling. We'll press out from here on the exhale into our warrior two. Bring the hands to the sky. Slow turn to the front of the mat. Let the hands come down when you found your balance. Lean forwards a little bit. Let the arms help bring the foot through. Perfect. Take the hands towards the sky on the inhale. Lift up. Hands into the heart. Exhale slowly over the thighs and down to the floor. Just move that brick out of the way. And see if we can zigzag the toes in to touch. And then carefully take the hands around the back of the calves. And let the hands slide down towards the floor. Bring the hands to the floor again out in front and then zips out those feet to hip distance apart. Hands come onto the hips, soft knees and a flat back to lift up. And we'll shake out the legs a little bit. We'll come back into the standing balances that we did at the beginning. So the toes come together, a little gap for the heels. Find that point to focus on. Take the weight into the left leg as we did before. Right heel lifts. Toes go out to the side. And close the eyes. in the ice. We'll see if we can bring that foot gently onto the shin and the calf. And then bringing the foot down. Shake it out and take it to the second side. When you're ready, you move the heel, big toe out to the side. A couple of breaths just to let it land. Then we close the eyes. Open the eyes again. Bring the foot gently into place. And then bring the foot down again. Definitely seeing some signs of having worked through the legs. Not feeling quite so strong. More connected though, but just more aware of the upper leg starting to work as well. We'll take the hands up towards the sky, from the front of the mat. Bring the hands in towards the heart. Hinge over. Down to the floor. I'm just going to step the feet back into a down dog. Just as a transition into plank, and then let the knees come to the floor. Spin the feet out to the side. And as we sit back, we'll just take our trusty block and place that underneath. And feet out in front. Dandasana. So we're going to turn the toes back, lengthen the heels away, sit up nice and tall. Fingertips on the floor. Now we'll relax a little bit so that we can bring the left foot underneath for our seat twist. Right foot comes across, sitting bones on the ground. Left arm lifts and rotates around over to the right side. Little lift of the pelvis forwards to open the chest up and lift our spine. Just opening gently out to the side. And we can release. Take the legs out again. Come into the second side. And then when you're ready, take the right hand up on the breath in. Slow rotation on the exhale. Gentle cantilever through the arms and legs. Remember the hips move forwards just a little bit. And then release. We'll take the feet wider than the mat so the soles of the feet can come onto the ground. Just lift onto the front of the sitting bones. Take the hands on top of the feet and the arms on top of the knees. And then roll the spine in, let the head hang. So it's a sporty version of the seated forward fold. And draw the belly in. Let the spine round. Let the head hang. And then we'll lift gently back out of that. And let's come off of that block and move it towards the very back of the mat. So let myself come down gently onto the floor. And I'm going to just ease the knees in towards the body. Take the hands on top of the kneecaps and paint some nice big juicy circles. Slowly follow the breath. Inhaling them in and exhaling away. Bring the feet to the floor. Take the arms out wide. Letting the legs float gently over to the right, head to the left. Come to the center on the exhale. Breathe it in at the top. Roll it over to the left. And then draw the knees back again. Moving into Shavasana. So hopefully able to take the feet out the corner edges of the mat. Bring hands a little closer into the side of the body. Wiggle the shoulders underneath. A little last wriggle through the fingers and toes. And then let everything relax. And we'll wriggle the fingers and toes. Move the wrists and ankles gently. Take a deeper breath. Let ourselves stretch out. Draw the knees gently in towards the body for a last little hug. Roll it into the right side as you breathe in. Use the hands on the exhale to lift from the floor. Back into seated postures. Hands into the heart. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, let the chin drop. Draw the belly in. Bow to the floor to seal the practice. Let the breath come back in to build the spine. As the head lifts and the eyes open, namaste. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely day.